Oh my goodness. It's Marianne from Revealing Light Tarot. And I wanted to jump on today because I've just read a New York Times article on Bolton's early draft, which, yes, talks about Ukraine, but it also talks about something else. And this is where I want to go today. In yesterday's reading, I felt that there was more coming out, or there was something to do with the shadow foreign policy, perhaps above and beyond Ukraine, perhaps more on Ukraine in some way. There was something coming out about the shadow foreign policy. We all went to the Middle East meeting this week, and of course, we could get a bombshell with that as well. But what I'm referring to is the article in the New York Times where Bolton was very concerned about the way that Trump apparently did favours for autocratic leaders around the world. He voiced his concerns to none other than William Barr, who also joined him in that concern as well. There had been investigations to do with, I think it's a Turkish bank, that there was now pressure to stop or to, submerge in some way. Absolutely astounding stuff from John Bolton. Now, apparently the leak to the New York Times did not come from John Bolton. Rather, it came from someone within the White House. Bolton's agents and Bolton have denied leaking that to the New York Times. Lawrence Tribe, the professor, the Harvard professor, is now postulating a theory that the White House had this draft manuscript since December the 30th, and then out of the blue we had this strike on the Iranian general, which was something that Bolton had always wanted. And he's postulating, was Bolton, I won't say paid off, that's not the right word, but what has gone on between the White House and Bolton? Nevertheless, the New York Times has this story, and it is getting curiouser and curiouser by the minute. We now have Mitt Romney coming out and saying, given the Bolton bombshell, we probably should hear from witnesses. So today, let's have a look. Did the New York Times get the heads up around this draft from Bolton? And he's just denying it because that's the way that they do. One thing's very clear: Trump is standing in the midst of a camp of enemies within his own camp, which I find, we can look on and go, okay, that is some of karma coming back. Okay, did the New York Times get this from John Bolton? Or did they get it from someone in the White House, and if so, who? Let's just take the first question. Did the New York Times get this drip feed now of very controversial stuff that you and I have known in this forum has been occurring for years? We've been talking about it. We've been predicting it. All the tarot readers, all the psychics. We know that he's done that. We've had these agendas. I think Trump's relationship and making the presidency like a business, I think was one of my second readings. I'm not alone. We've all been in agreement around this. Now we're starting to get to the truth. Okay, it makes sense of that death card now being in the past. So we have ultimately another card that keeps flying out of my tarot decks over the months for Trump, in recent months, maybe the last 3 or 4 months. The Lost card, turning his back, walking away from what is no longer serving him. Now, is that stepping down from the presidency? Let's not get too carried away just yet. It will take absolute and categorical truth to come out before those Republicans stop supporting this president. Is this it? Perhaps it's just the beginning of the end now. So, back to the question. Did Bolton give this early draft of his book to the New York Times? Was this Bolton? I think he's telling the truth. I don't think he did. Let me just turn the deck up the right way. I don't think he did. But let's have a look at what the cards will tell us. We've got the Five of Cups. I've always said Bolton will make a very, very diabolical enemy. I wouldn't like to get on the wrong side of him. We've got the Five of Cups there. That's loss and a reaction to loss as well. If we read in layers, do I need to tell you the way that we're all feeling at the moment? Challenged by the money. Now, this is the bombshell that I was picking up on. It had something to do with money. Trump doing favours for autocratic leaders in the countries where he has business ties. That is the crux of this reading and the crux of this matter. So this is the bombshell that is coming out. Was it Bolton or was it somebody else, perhaps our anonymous source in the White House? The foundation of the reading is new investment income sources as well. What else? We know Trump is the president for maybe 3 years now, almost 3 years. What else is he setting up in the longer term that we don't know about because we can't get a look at his taxes? Here's our devil card. Greed, avarice. So Bolton, this is telling us, outlining the situation. Greed, avarice, the Great Awakener. Let's not just take a Hollywood view of this. Let's start to think, how did this happen? How did the elite get control of America in this way? And indeed the world. It's not just America, as I keep saying. We've got judgment, something coming to an inevitable ending. If it's not ending now, it might go on, it might limp on for a little bit longer, but the worse it will get. The worse it will get for Trump is implied in that judgment card. Bolton, did he do it? Did he leak it to the New York Times? We have the Ten of Cups. Now, this is obviously the Trump organization, money in the coffers, but I feel this is also Bolton as well. I'm starting now to tap into Bolton's energy. Bolton, I think we naturally look for heroes on the white horse, the cavalry coming in to save us. I don't think that's Bolton, but I do think that there are certain lines that he won't step over. So his account of what he heard in his book is quite truthful. We have here, sitting along the page of Pentacles, the Ten of Pentacles, the money. This is my card for the Trump organization, but this is also money in Bolton's pocket as well. We have the Five of Coins. Again, I'm starting to move into Bolton's energy. Bolton suffered a loss. He was pretty much fired. So he was outside the main game, left out in the cold, as we like to say. The environment around that then, secrets, this murky pond. What else did he know? Honestly, viewers, this is something like, one of my viewers said, this is like a tragic Shakespearean tale. It has all the players, Caligula maybe. Really, this is what's playing out in front of us. What's the hopes and the fears? We've got the Ace of Cups. So I feel that if this had have been known, then I think this would be the high emotional cost that would then turn voters away at a time when support was needed. So the fear of the new starts, high levels of emotion. So Bolton, did he reveal it? The Eight of Wands. I thought he didn't, but I'm inclined to think with this Eight of Wands that perhaps he did. And if he didn't, he certainly will in the future. This is a stack of stuff coming out with the Eight of Wands, likely to emerge very quickly. I'm feeling passion. This is going to stir the passion. This is the Eight of Wands. I feel that Bolton, he is denying it, but perhaps he did. We've got the karmic wheel of fortune here and new starts. Wow, this is dynamite. This is explosive. Now, can they get them on the stand? Can the Democratic Party, can voters, can the American public get Bolton, get Parnas, get William Barr on the stand in this impeachment trial? I don't think so. However, we'll read on Bolton at least, because there is growing calls from within the Republican Party to do just that. When is, if we look at Caesar taken out, the Ides of March, taken out by his own deputies and allies, when is this likely to occur for Trump? I think it's coming down the pike. Let's see what is happening at the moment. We've got these secrets. The High Priestess, is she giving up her secrets from the past with this Six of Cups? We've got another six moving on. Again, I talked about that hanged man situation. I feel the High Priestess is giving her secrets up from the past. There is movement on what was blocked and hidden from our view in the past. And I, for one, am really relieved that now this focus is on Trump, the businessman, and the president, because that's where my focus has been from the word go. So I'm really relieved they're talking. This is now coming out into the open. Parnas played a role releasing that donor dinner. We heard how business was done. How is that done with foreign leaders? Well, now we know. Now we know. Okay, so that's a good spread overall to look at what is occurring. Even though I felt that Bolton didn't, with that Eight of Wands and that Ace of Wands, clarifying the Eight of Wands, I feel they're both yes cards. I feel that he did. If he didn't do this directly, he certainly knew about it, and sometimes that can also be the case. We'll just ask that question: was he blackmailed? Was he given anything to shut up? I don't think so. I don't think that's the case now. I feel that Trump struck that Iranian general down as a diversion from impeachment. Bolton, I feel, has actually given that information or given that draft in some way, or someone that he knows that has his permission in some way, or he knows about it, or there's been some arrangement, and that's why perhaps the people within the White House are also who leaked that to the Times are also talking to John Bolton. Perhaps this was a setup from the start. Trump is in the enemy camp, and it's his own camp. All right, let's have a look at. Let's have a look. The White House sources who leaked this. Were they doing so in consultation with Bolton? The White House sources who leaked this to the New York Times, were they doing so with Bolton's approval? White House sources, New York Times, Bolton's approval. I think that's more accurate. So we have the Devil card. That's interesting. Greed, avarice, autocratic leaders doing business with them. The shadow foreign policy. We have the Chariot. Okay. So Bolton and some loyalists, some patriots at the White House are responsible for leaking this with that Chariot card there. They took decisive action. And we've got the Nine of Wands. It could be because they've just had enough. They've seen enough. They've had enough. The King of Cups, they want a different way. They want the different, they want to, let's just put it this way, trade in the King of Pentacles for the King of Cups. Okay. We've got retreat and someone being wounded. And that's in the near future. Now, I did see Trump would become very vindictive this week. So really, I feel that, he may even, when I saw him signing something, this may even be to prevent the publication of this book in some way. But we've got the Ten of number 10, the Wheel of Fortune. Things are turning in our favour. Things turning, taking a turn for the better. Right now, we've got the Death card, and as I said before, this presidency has already ended, or is in the death throes. Just put it that way. The environment around is the Magician. Is that John Bolton? Is that John Bolton? That's also watch out for the next dirty trick, because Trump, being in the enemy camp, in his own camp, perhaps being thwarted by enemies, is going to try and get on top of the situation. He is juggling now. It's a precarious position for Donald Trump. Did the White House sources do this in favour or in consultation with John Bolton? That's a Four of Wands. I did feel that Bolton may also have been talking to the Democratic Party. These were people that were tired of what they were seeing with this Ten of Wands. They'd had enough. And we've got the Seven of Wands, Trump now having to defend himself. They could have been tired of America continually having to defend itself under this president. Right now, at the base of the pack, we've got the dollar signs, we've got the world, and we've got the past. That is very interesting. I think it sums it up. When you elect someone like Donald Trump, what do you expect? So we have the money on the world stage in countries that he was doing business with, going back into the past. And I think that really does say it all. So this reading is showing that with that Four of Wands, the Ten of Wands, and defending oneself, I feel that those in the White House that leaked this to the New York Times did so in consultation with John Bolton. I do feel Trump now will come back very vindictively toward Bolton this week in some way, or vindictive just generally, because he's cornered and he won't like that. Now let's have a look. Will any of this make a difference to the GOP wanting to call John Bolton as a witness? Now remember, we've got the enemy circulating. They are moving around Donald Trump in a circle. I can't get that word out. And so he's going to have his allies now fighting back, those that are loyal to him, like Lindsey Graham saying rather pathetically that he would only call Bolton if he thinks he should. In other words, if I say so, he will be called. Unless he morphed into Moscow Mitch, I don't think he's got that control in the Senate. So he's sounding really rather lame now. So let's have a look. Will any of the Bolton dirt coming out in his book influence these senators to call him as a witness? I think, again, we shouldn't be thinking about this in terms of right or wrong. I think it's how many enemies has Trump got now that feel that they've got a green light to step out of the shadows. Let's have a look. As I said, this is a Shakespearean play. It's about power. It goes to the nature of power, corrupt power. Power, again, with that devil card yesterday, can be used for good and it can be used for evil. But we're seeing pretty clearly what happens when it's used for evil. When I say evil, ill. Okay, negatively. All right, so let's have a look. Will any of this with Bolton make a difference to the GOP? Will Bolton be called as a witness now? Yeah, I think the Republicans would want to avoid that. Will Bolton be called? Oh, something. Death. Well, death is no, generally, but I think it would spell the ending of Trump's presidency. So it probably is the last thing they're going to want. Will Bolton be called as a witness? Will Bolton be called as a witness? There's no easy path here. There's no winning path is what I'm trying to say. We've got the Knight of Coins. This is slow-moving energy. This is also someone who's in the employ of someone else who potentially can be loyal. It's also a Taurian energy, a very determined energy. Now we have challenging that, we have the Queen of Wands. Now this Queen of Wands is determined to bring the truth out. So I don't think it matters now whether Bolton testifies or not. Because this is Trump and the GOP. They're standing on very precarious ground. Are they going to fall is the question. The Hierophant in the past. Now this is Congress. This is, I think, is the impeachment, but it's also the highest source. Now this could be court as well. Wouldn't put it past Trump to take this, to put some kind of injunction on this book, to try and stop it coming out. We do have Temperance, which is balance, reaching a balance in the near future, or that's the potential now that we have, a healing to take place. The Knight of Swords, some sort of action on the truth is coming out in the near future. Wow. Okay, I love these two cards. They're probably my favourite in the pack. Temperance, a healing, a balancing. That is a potential future. In the immediate future, we have the Knight of Swords, a truth emerging. But we have partisanship right now, this factionalism, the environment around. What are we fighting over? Okay, we're fighting to keep the secrets, basically. And they will fight hard to do that. Trump's loyalists and Trump himself. There is a decision to be made, and the fear is that some of those Republicans will make it. This is why you now have Mark Meadows is, from the House of Representatives, coming out and reiterating that anyone voting against Trump will lose his support. There's a price to pay. Okay, so this is a phrase that's being bandied about. Will Bolton testify? It's the Hermit. It's investigation. It's introspection. It's also a review of something. Let's see what it's clarified. We've got retreat here and also wounded, and we've got restriction. So I'm going to draw a clarifier on it because that's important. I don't think he will be, but I don't think it matters anyway. We have the Eight of Coins. This is, something being very hard work. But we've also got the Ace of Rods here. So there's a lot of passion and a lot of push to get Bolton on the stand. We do have this Crossroads card with the Two of Rods. 2 weeks, perhaps. 2 months. It's going to be hard going for Trump over the next couple of months. But we have this Four of Coins, which is this holding back of information. And we have the Wish card. But why here? We have this Ace coming forward again, fearing this Ace, this high levels of emotion that the information might likely generate. I'm just going to pull a clarifier on that Hermit. I don't think he will testify because we've got it clarified by that Four of Swords, which is retreat. But I don't think it matters anyway because I think that this information is going to come out. And it won't matter whether it does in the Senate trial, which we know is a sham, or whether it comes out in the book. The damage is already done. Let's have a look at this Hermit card. Will John Bolton be called to testify? The Hermit card. Will Bolton be called to testify? Will Bolton be called to testify? So, it's interesting. I'm just getting the picture of literally all the eggs in one basket. Will Bolton be called to testify? I'm not sure what that means. Will Bolton be called to testify? Okay, so, we have the Queen of Pentacles, national security, and we also have the King of Cups. So this energy coming forward, which is diametrically opposed to the King of Pentacles. It's a benign rulership. And we have this heavy decision facing, I feel this is the lawmakers, the King of Wands. They have a decision to make, judgment. They know they're going to be judged. I am getting the Eight of Swords restriction, and I'm getting the Three of Wands, which is this trade and commerce. Again, they won't want Bolton on the stand. We have the Six of Pentacles, which is the card for Trump's money, loans, debts, business in other countries. But we do have the truth emerging one way or another. So I don't think it matters, because there is heartbreak, loss for Donald Trump. And we have this Star of Hope, and ultimately we have this new start. So I don't think he will, but I'm not 100%. I can't 100% say he won't. I feel that it would be the last thing that they would want on the stand, because really, imagine Kamala Harris, Senator Harris, cross-examining John Bolton with what is now in the public arena. So what does that mean then for the trial? Well, it will go on and it will be a sham trial, but really the hits are just going to get harder on this president. And of course, as I said yesterday, this presidency is already in its death throes. Has been now for really since the midterms. Okay, I'm going to leave that one there, Bolton. Well, one last question, just a couple of cards. Is Bolton in any danger? Because we had that Four of Swords there, which is a retreat, a wounded card, wounded in battle. Is Bolton in any danger? John Bolton in any danger? This is an explosive book. Maybe that's his guarantee. Is John Bolton in any danger? John Bolton in any danger? The High Priestess. Okay, so he will carry his own secrets. He would have already done his deals, looked after every aspect of that. We have the delusions, the Seven of Cups, smoke screens, okay, and we have the King of Wands here, leadership. No, he can take care of himself, and we have the Queen of Swords. He would have already taken care of all of that. He would have already seen all of this and taken measures to protect himself. Is he in any danger? He could well be, but I think he's already crossed that bridge and made arrangements, guaranteed, perhaps with others. It looks like Bolton carries a lot of secrets, holds a lot of secrets, and I feel that he would be doing all of that leveraging now. Now, one last question, because I know people are worried about Adam Schiff. Now, he is the person on the white horse, or beautiful black stallion, whichever you prefer, and he is riding into battle. He would be someone that may be a mark for the Trumpists, for the cult of Trump. And aren't they really low? I'm just going to his spiritual advisor and something that she said, which was absolutely disgusting, about satanic babies and miscarrying. You know the comment I'm talking about. Is Adam Schiff in danger when you've got those kind of, to me, coming across as absolute whatevers? Okay. All right, you can see that I'm not in step with his spiritual advisor. And wouldn't want to be either. All right, is Adam Schiff, let's get serious here. Is Adam Schiff in any danger? Is Adam Schiff in any danger? Is Adam Schiff in any danger? I feel that he's very anxious, because I'm just getting him, yeah. So this is the Russia card. I'm getting him in his bed, and I'm getting him maybe not sleeping at night. There's a high level of anxiety around this question for him. Even though he may not show it. We've got the Russia, and we've got the Six of Wands, that he would be punished because he was victorious, and we've got the Chariot here, and we have the Knight of Coins. He is reliable. He is this Knight of Coins. He also brought forward abundant energy. Let's see what's on the bottom. People are resonating with him. He is in many ways the King of Cups. He is the hard worker, and he is exposing the lies and deceit. Without a doubt, he will have to defend himself. Let's hope that he has the protection that he needs, because at another level, this is also precarious if Lev Parnas has come out and released information because it's a way of keeping himself safe, and I do feel the threat comes from Russia. Then Adam Schiff also is similarly a mark as well for both Trump's foreign supporters, let's just put it like that, those that are in his camp that want to see him continue in the presidency because he's done so much for them, and the Trump of cults. So I think it goes without saying that I hope they've beefed up the security on Adam Schiff. All right. I'll leave it there. Thank you for tuning in. Amazing. I had to come on today because when I saw that now Barr is now going to be drawn into the frame. The House can start to investigate again around these favours that have been done for autocratic leaders. This abuse of power could be another article of impeachment. We're going to go down this track, and we still have his tax returns. So we're a long way from November. I still am going with a possibility, a very likely possibility that Trump may not even make it to November 2020 in terms of what else might likely come out. Okay, thank you for tuning in, everyone.